Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name's Alyssa.
I'm Marlene.
And this is What's Your Favorite Scary Story? We are back. Basically, if you haven't heard any episodes so far for some reason and you're starting on episode 13, this podcast is just me telling scary stories of different kinds, like spooky, ghost stuff, alien stuff, all things of that nature, and Marlene listens to my stories and adds commentary, which is her strong suit. But the fun part is you guys get to pick every story that we discuss on this podcast. It all comes from you guys. So those of you who have been listening, you're slacking. We need more ideas, so please send them in. Where should they send those stories to?
Send them to whatsyourfavoritescarystory@gmail.com.
That's the place.
That's the one.
Do it, please.
Now.
We need more. Like right now. Like don't stop listening to us.
Just
pause
click
it.
off.
Go research. If you don't know of any stories that you want to hear, go research them and then send those to our email, and then you can come back and finish listening to the podcast.
Yes, thank you.
Sound good? Okay, cool. All right. Also, for those of you who have not listened to us before, Marlene likes to put a little silent background screen on the TV.
Yeah, it's just relaxing. It's like a little something in the background. If, I'm a visual person, so if I'm not seeing something, I don't know what I'm saying.
I think it helps you, stay focused.
It does help me stay focused, yeah. I think that's, yeah. So, the past couple of weeks, I've put a 10-hour video of something on. This week, in honor of our solar eclipse that happened today, I put a 10-hour video of. I think this is obviously photoshopped. It's like some video thing.
It's like an eclipse, but also reflecting into water somehow.
Yeah, but I mean it works. I don't know.
It's called Celestial Ambiance.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I saw it. The title popped up before it started.
Yeah, I just look at the picture. If it looks cool, I just click on it.
Understandable.
But yeah, it worked. So
yeah, I mean,
we're going with that today.
Whatever does the job. But before we get started, we do just want to let you guys know we are in a different location today. So it might be a little noisier than normal.
Yeah, it's a lot noisier.
Just wanted to give that heads up so you guys aren't like, what is all that sound in the background?
We're literally right next to a window, next to a busy street. So
during a busy traffic time.
Yeah, it's like peak traffic time right now.
Yeah, but it's fine. You guys will still be able to hear us fine.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, are you ready to jump into today? Is there anything else that you wanted to say before we got started?
No, I just feel, I'm still kind of lazy because we took a little vacation last week, and I'm still trying to get back in the motions.
Recuperate.
Yeah, the motions of the oceans. But yeah, we're good. But yeah, I have my brains on today, so we're good.
Well, that's good. We love when Marlene has her brains on. It's always preferable. All right, well, today's episode I am so excited about. First of all, it's episode 13, so that's exciting in its own right.
Yep.
This topic was suggested by Anonymous.
Oh, another...
I know, it makes it spookier for some reason. We love Anonymous.
Yes.
Because they suggested the topic of black-eyed children.
Black-eyed children?
Yeah. Have you heard of them before?
Yeah, I love their music. Gotta get that. Gotta get that. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta get that. Boom, boom, boom.
You're thinking of the wrong thing. Yes, so not Black-Eyed Peas, Black-Eyed Children. Have you heard of them?
It sounds... I don't know. I feel like I might have heard of them. But I can't tell you. Straight up.
Good thing that's my job.
Yeah.
So. All right. So what exactly are black-eyed children? Well, according to the legend, they are paranormal creatures that resemble children, usually between the ages of 6 and 16. They will have pale skin and pitch black eyes.
Oh my god.
I know. Just that alone.
That's just creepy.
Is terrifying. They are often seen in pairs of two, hitchhiking on roads, walking through parking lots and along sidewalks, and standing on the doorstep of residential homes.
Fuck. That's
just
creepy.
Ready.
Yeah, that's just creepy.
Just get ready. Wherever these children are seen, it seems that they always have the same goal: to get into someone's personal space, whether it be your home or your car or just wherever you feel safe.
But why?
They just want in. They'll make up some excuse, like they need to use the phone so their parents can come pick them up, or they're cold and they just need to warm up for a little while.
Like Oliver Twist. Please, sir, may I have some more?
May I have some warmth from your home?
Please let me in, sir.
Well, that's just it. The let me in thing.
Gross, dude.
They're kind of like vampires in the sense that they cannot enter where they are trying to get into unless they are invited in.
Damn.
That's why
I got goosebumps already.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, these kids have pitch black eyes, but that's not the only unusual thing about them. The best way to describe it, honestly, is that they're just kind of off. Like, they're kids, but there's just something not quite right about them. It's like they know what human kids are supposed to be like, but they kind of just miss the mark a little bit. Like, for example, one story involved one of the kids going to someone's door and asking if they had any ketchup that she could borrow for her apple.
What the heck?
Yeah. And speaking of stories, that was pretty much all, like, the basic information I have on them. So the rest of this is literally just all first-hand accounts that people have had with black-eyed children.
So no one knows, like, where they come from, why they exist?
No, I mean, yeah, we'll go over that a little bit, like, at the end. But it's like an urban legend, but there's a lot of first-hand accounts of, like, people actually not only seeing them, but having, like, literal encounters with them.
Like, around the world or in a specific area?
Mostly the U.S. There was, like, a little bit I heard of in, like, Mexico and Scotland I saw. They weren't, like, amazing stories, so I didn't include them. So I'm pretty sure all these stories I'm going to tell you are in America.
Okay.
It says it was, like, a modern American, like, urban legend.
Okay.
Kind of thing, but it kind of just seems to have a little bit more evidence than most urban legends.
You know, you said pale and, like, black-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember that game I was playing a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago? The game Limbo? Where it's, you know, like, and it's, like, the other characters in there are little white, black-eyed kids, too. Like, it's, like, and it's in a forest.
Yeah, it's, like, kind of a spooky game.
Yeah. It's called Limbo, so, I mean, it's based literally, like, it's in a limbo stage, and this kid is trying to get out. But still, it's, like, still, like, the white skin and the black eyes and the other little kids in it.
It was probably, like, modeled after them a little bit.
Probably. That's creepy, though, because that game was pretty, like...
It was a little spooky.
It was a little spooky, yeah. And great game.
Yeah, it was
like,
pretty
great.
cool.
Yeah, I play a lot of indie games, and that was, like... It's on, like, the top 4, maybe top 3 I've ever played.
Wow. Yeah, it looked like a really cool game. I was, like, watching you play it. Yeah. Oh, and also in my research, apparently there's, like, a black-eyed kid movie that's been made. I have no idea, like, what kind of production went into it, where it's at, but I'm definitely gonna look. If
there's like cringe actors in it, or something.
If it's like Velocipaster type of movie, or it's like.
Velocipaster,
like those movies that are, like, on Tubi that are free.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's like that kind of vibe or like an indie film or like a legit movie. I'm definitely gonna find out though.
Yeah, we should probably watch it.
I think so.
Well, I don't know. It depends if it's, like, good enough.
I mean, I'll watch it. You can be there if you want.
Yeah, I'd probably go to sleep.
Probably. All right, are you ready for the stories? The rest of this is just all stories.
Okay, so...
Because I was so excited to, like, read every story out there.
Okay, how many stories do we have today?
I don't know. Didn't, like, number them. I want to say maybe, like, 6 or 7.
Okay, I figured. Yeah, that sounds like...
And some are longer than others. Some are pretty short. So.
That's fine. Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm excited. Okay. So this first story starts with a couple other creepy encounters that this man had while he was home alone for the holidays. So he was walking past his front door on the way to the bathroom, and the door just opens by itself.
The fuck, dude.
So he closes the door while thinking that was like a little odd, especially with the timing of it happening right when he was walking by. He makes sure that it's completely secure, and he continues and goes to the bathroom. After he uses the bathroom, he makes his way past the front door again, and wouldn't you know it, it is wide open again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and this time his dog is barking at it, and he tried to get the dog to calm down and to stop barking, which he said normally the dog will listen to him once, he says that it's okay and like calms him down, but this time it took the dog like 5 minutes to calm down.
You would think that I don't know, if my dog was barking at nothing and the door was just open.
Yeah, it's not like the doorbell rang or anything.
I would let him bark and be like, go get it.
Right.
I'm not gonna be like...
I wouldn't let it go outside though. I would be too scared about that.
Well, I mean...
You never know. Have you seen horror movies?
I know. I've seen horror movies and stuff.
The dog always dies.
But... I know, but I don't know. Okay.
So about another 2 hours go by, and the dog starts barking at the door again because it is open again.
Fuck. After he locks it again.
Yeah. He's done it twice now at this point. So he goes and he closes it for a third time, makes sure it's secure, and goes to bed somehow. I don't know how a man would go to bed after this. I couldn't. So he goes to bed, and another 2 hours go by when his dog starts barking again. The man goes to check the front door, and thankfully this time it is closed. But this goes on about every 2 hours until 4 a.m. with his dog waking him up and barking. But when it happens at 4 a.m. with the dog barking, he's not only awakened by the barking, but also by 3 hard knocks on his front door.
Fuck. 3 knocks consecutively?
Yeah.
No.
I know.
That's like demonic shit.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, basically it's kind of common when you're hearing knocking that is unexplainable and it's in the amount of 3s. It's said that it's demonic because it's supposedly mocking the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So
beware.
There's that.
Beware of the 3 demonic knocks.
So I'm glad the knocks we heard at the Winchester house was 4, not 3.
Yeah, and they happen like 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, Yeah. So I felt fine about that. So the man heard those knocks, and he said he was so anxious that his heart was about to beat through his chest, which is understandable. But he still goes ahead and peeks through the window to the left of the door to see who's there. Standing at his door, he saw a boy about 10 years old with pitch black eyes.
Fuck.
Here we go.
Damn, dude.
So, without opening up the door, thank God, the man says, "What's up, little man?" The child replies, "I'm so cold. Can I come in?" The man asks the boy where his parents are. The boy says nothing. He's just standing there with a fake smile, slightly nodding.
What the fuck?
Just picture that. Actually think about what that would look like.
No, that's a 10-year-old boy. Mm-hmm. Approximately. He's got to be under 4 feet, maybe 4 feet if he's freakishly tall for his age. And just look at this. He's that's so creepy. No, especially if that's that little kid smile,
right?
You know how kids can't actually
how I
fully
smile when I was a kid.
They just open up their
mouth, yeah.
Just a basic.
There's no happiness.
Yeah, there's it's not in their eyes. Yeah. They just open
They're
up.
Just showing their teeth.
Yeah,
and then nodding.
And then nodding.
When
black eyes.
It wasn't a yes or no thing that the man said. The man asked where his parents are, and he's just nodding.
No,
smiling.
I would. No, what the fuck? I wouldn't even know what to do.
Right. Okay. So the man repeats himself. He says, "Do you have parents, dude? It's 4 a.m. What the hell is going on? Are you okay? Where are your mom and dad?" The boy just shrugs. The man tells the kid that he can't let him in because he has COVID, which was a little fib, but I get it. He then runs to get his phone and call 911. He said that maybe took him 15 seconds, and when he returned to the door, the kid was gone. He opened the door and ran out to the street to see where he went, but he was nowhere to be seen.
That was a
loud bus.
Yeah, that was a loud. It wasn't even. I think it was a truck or a trailer or something. Jesus.
Yeah, so he ran outside. He didn't see the boy. Now we have a motorcycle. Lovely.
This is fun.
This is super fun. Anyways, so the man lives at the top of the cul-de-sac. So there's nowhere the boy could have run off to that quickly. Like, he would have seen him somewhere, even if it was like off in the distance.
Yeah, of course.
So the next day, he asked a neighbor to check her security camera that was actually facing his house.
No.
And there was nothing on the tape from that night.
Oh my gosh.
However, she did say that she saw a kid walking the neighborhood a few days later in the early morning when she was going to work. But when her car made it up to where she saw the kid walking, he was gone.
Oh my god. I thought you were going to say with the first one, that she only saw the man talking to air.
Right.
The kid wasn't there, but the man was outside and he was talking to nothing.
He wasn't talking to, he didn't open the door when he talked to the kid. Oh, that's right.
He was
Yeah, but so still though, the whole night there was nothing there.
Nah, dude, that's fucking weird. What the fuck?
Yeah, that was our first black-eyed kid story. And that's a tame one, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we are in store for
that's
today.
Fucking creepy as fuck.
But you could see why I was so excited, right? This is fascinating.
Yeah. Gotta spook that. Gotta spook that. Spook, spook, spook. Gotta spook that. Spook, spook, spook.
Music and lyrics by Marlene Ramirez. All right. Are you ready for the next story?
Gotta spook me halfway.
Ooh.
Right up the spooky line is where I'm gonna spook at you. Yeah, I think I'm ready.
That was beautiful. Okay, so this next story happened to a child who would spend the summers with his dad in a small cabin in the woods. And I'm going to be telling it in his words. So he's grown. I don't know if he's grown up or a teenager now, but he's older now.
It's the same guy?
No, these are all different stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
we're
thought
on
I
to
heard,
the next story.
Okay, I thought I heard same guy years later. Kind of thing.
So, it's been years since this story happened, and he's recounting it to us.
Okay.
So one summer, my dad picked me up, and we began our journey up to Sault Ste. Marie, a pretty small city in Michigan. We finally arrived after about a 5-hour drive. My father lived in a very small cabin-like house that was relatively secluded. He didn't have any neighbors close by. My dad was tired from driving and told me he was going to lie down for a while. I had dozed off in the car for a few hours, so I was wide awake at this point. So I decided to walk over to the woods on the other side of the house. First mistake, always.
Of course.
By yourself. It was still light outside, and I knew those woods like the back of my hand, so I wasn't worried about getting lost. As I entered the forest, I took in my surroundings and admired the natural beauty in front of me. I loved being outside and had fond memories of camping with my father. After walking for maybe half a mile, I stopped when I saw someone sitting on the ground beneath the trees. It was a young girl who looked to be only a few years older than me. She had long, ratty brown hair and pale skin. But what really unnerved me were her eyes. They were devoid of any color, just black circles of emptiness. After staring at me for a few seconds, she asked me what I was doing in the woods. I told her I was staying with my dad and that I walked through the woods all the time. The girl laughed and told me her name was Kara. She stood up and began walking further into the forest, gesturing to me to follow her. The entire time she spoke, I was just wondering where she'd come from. There were no other houses nearby, and I didn't know of any other kids in the area. When I asked where she lived, she simply ignored me and continued walking. When I asked her where we were going, I got no response. After a few minutes of aimless walking, I decided to turn around and head back home. I didn't say anything to Kara. I just started walking in the opposite direction. Upon noticing this, she turned to me and said, "You have to take me to your house."
Fuck. What the fuck?
I didn't know what to say, so I told her I had to get home for dinner and my dad didn't let me have anybody over. She just stood there staring at me until I turned to continue my journey back to the house. I'll find you.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Hearing her say this sent a chill up my spine, but I ignored it and walked back up the hill until I could see the house, which made me feel relieved. As soon as I got inside, I went straight to my room and fell asleep. I awoke around 1 a.m. to find my father sitting in the chair next to my bed with a cup of coffee in his hand. I asked him if something was wrong because he looked shaken up. Some kid came to the door tonight. A little girl. She said she needed to come in to use the phone. I asked her where she lived, and she wouldn't answer me. She just kept saying that she had to come in. Did you let her in? No, I asked her if she needed help, and she didn't say anything. She looked angry. She just stood there for a minute and left. But she said she knew you. She said she'd known you for a long time. She even knew your name. But you know what really scared me about her? Her eyes. They were pitch black.
Fuck.
I never told Kara my name, I never went back to those woods, and I never saw her again. What scares me the most is that she might still be out there, waiting for my dad to let her in.
Fuck, dude.
That was our second story.
It was almost like she was leading him out, like away from the dad's house.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
she was leading him like away from the house, but like
almost on purpose, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it wasn't until like he turned around.
Yeah, then she wanted to like go to his dad's house.
Yeah.
So it's like, what was, like, what if
what's the motive?
What if the kid just followed her like for an hour? Where would they have ended up? It's crazy.
Maybe she would have like killed him.
Maybe.
And then take over his body and then go home
to
and
the dad. Well, and then the fact that she knew his name.
That's fucking weird.
What the hell?
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a spook night.
She's just trying to convince herself that this is Black Eyed Peas and not Black Eyed Kids, so she isn't so scared. How's that working for you?
It's working.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we
Thanks for asking.
Want.
Yes.
Of course. All right, ready for story number 3?
No.
It just gets worse.
It's spooky, bro. What the fuck?
That's the point.
I know. That's just crazy, though.
The fact that there's
God.
There was so many stories out there, babe. I just included the best ones I could find, but I probably came across 50 of them.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder, also not trying to dismiss this, but
no, obviously they're not. They can't all be true.
Yeah,
obviously, some because I'll get to.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah,
after.
I'll get to it.
I want to.
But basically, there is some people that have written creepypastas about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see both sides. But let's get into
story
story number 3.
It's still fucking creepy though. It's a good fucking story.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, let's hear number 3.
All right. So this next story happened to a woman while she was at work. She didn't necessarily work in the best part of town, so she always made sure to keep the door to their office locked and check out the window before heading out. One day, she had to leave the office to go on a sales call. She checked out the window and saw 2 teenage boys about a block away. She knew this wouldn't be a problem as she could easily make it to her car quick enough. When she opened the door, the boys were much, much closer than they should have been. They had traveled an entire block in a split second.
Damn, what the hell?
Yeah, that's the first one of that we've seen in these stories. Right. She said she didn't really have any reason to be afraid of these boys, but for some reason she felt a deep fear. So she ran back into the office and locked the door. So the kids started banging on the door immediately. Only one of the 2 boys ever spoke. He said, "We need a phone. Let us in." The woman yelled back, "No," but the boys just kept banging on the glass door, so hard that it was vibrating.
Damn.
She threatened to call the cops, but they just kept banging and begging to use the phone. Eventually, she looked up so she could get a good look at them to give a description to the cops, and that's when she saw that their eyes were completely black. She said she's not religious or anything, but she just felt the need to yell out, In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave. And the boys just vanished into thin air.
Demonic, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not fucking normal.
No, that's like the most like supernatural type of thing we've heard.
Yeah.
Like, so they're just like gaining characteristics, like making them more strange and more strange.
Yeah.
So that's like the first one I saw when they were like getting violent. And it just gets like more violent.
All right.
And scary. Bad.
All right.
I'm like just ruining your day, aren't I?
A little bit, yeah. I'm just trying to think of more black-eyed peas.
To make it better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. So the person in this next story decided to leave their house and walk to the corner store.
Yo, I love corner stores, dude. They're so nostalgic for me. Like the little tienditas in Mexico. They, the corner stores here in America remind me of those. So.
Right. Well, this story might ruin them for you.
You know what? You can tell the people the story. I'm about to go use the restroom. All right. I guess I'm ready to.
All right.
Have my corner stores
ruined forever.
Ruined forever, yeah.
So like I said, this person decided to go to their corner store, which was about 3 blocks away, to pick up a few things. That was their first mistake.
Why?
Well, you'll see.
Okay.
As they were walking, they saw 2 teens, about 14 years old, knocking on someone's door and asking to use the phone. As the person continued to walk, the 2 teens turned and stared at them for a moment. The person said they felt extremely creeped out and hurried to get to the next block. They felt fine after that, until they turned around and saw that the 2 teens were following them.
Fuck.
This is when they started sprinting to the store.
What time of day is this?
I think it was just like in the middle of the afternoon, it seems like.
Damn, that's fucking ballsy of these things, of these kids, or whatever the fuck
I don't think they're afraid of anything.
Well, no, clearly it's just...
Yeah.
Fuck, like I think of...
Yeah, imagine just like seeing this.
No,
like,
I would fucking run
side.
back home or wherever the fuck I came from.
Yeah, so...
Well, I guess not home, but I wouldn't know that.
Right. Yeah, so they sprinted to the store, they barged through the door, and told the cashier what had happened. The cashier looked creeped out and then told them of a similar story that happened to him in his hometown the day that he was moving out of it.
Damn.
Like, what are the odds, first of all?
Yeah, no, that's fucking...
He said that the kids asked for his help in an emotionless voice, and he told the person that you can never, ever agree to help them. At this point, the teens were standing at the door to the store, asking to be let in, which, first of all, it's a store.
Yeah, you can walk in.
A person can just walk into a store.
Right.
Like, what the hell? That's straight up vampire shit.
I wonder what, like, what? Okay, so what do you mean by vampire shit? Like...
That it's like a common trope for like a vampire has to be invited in so then they can put you in a trance or eat you or whatever. They can't enter like someone's property without being invited in.
Oh, okay.
And that's like the biggest similarity between these two
right.
type of creatures. So naturally the cashier freaked out and locked the door, as he should.
What the fuck?
So the teens stood at the door for about an hour, when finally the cashier went to take the person out the back door. Just as the door closed behind them, one of the boys had come around the back to meet them and just kept saying, "Can you help me?" This is when the person saw their eyes, which were of course as black as the night sky. They said that the boys' eyes were peering into their soul, and they couldn't help but gaze back into them. All of a sudden, there was some sort of struggle, and the person was unconscious. When they came to, they saw the cashier struggling with both of the teens and calling out for help. The person ran up and grabbed the cashier by the collar to get him away from them, which knocked the teens over. The person then started to run away and didn't look back until they were close to their house. When they did, the cashier was nowhere to be seen, but the teens were, of course, following them. They rushed into their house, locked the door, closed all of the blinds, and turned up the music super loud. After a while, the person tried to find the cashier and thank him for saving their life, but after that day, he didn't show up for work again.
Damn, he just fucking quit.
Yeah, the person talked to his boss, who said the cashier called the very next day and quit and said that he was moving.
Damn.
To this day, the person says they still sometimes feel the fear of those eyes watching them as they drive to work, and they sometimes look out the window to see them standing a couple blocks away, just waiting for their next chance.
Still?
Yeah, they're still
They're
like
still
seeing
there?
these kids.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Now they know where they live.
You know, are they like, for some reason I just thought like aliens, like when the kid got like basically knocked unconscious and then woke up to the cashier being like badgered.
Yeah, because why
them.
would he all of a sudden go unconscious? That is kind of weird.
Yeah, that is fucking weird.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna save all our theories till the end.
Okay.
All right, no, but yeah, we're definitely getting there. Don't worry. Yeah, it's you, of course. You're always ahead of the game.
Of course.
You just can't. You're too speedy with your thoughts.
Yes. Fuck. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But you have to be patient.
I will.
Okay. All right. So this next story, it's bad. It's really bad. And it's from a man that was at a psychiatric ward with his girlfriend because they were visiting her aunt. While they were there, he overheard an older man, about 65, saying things about black-eyed kids. He went over to the man to verify what he was talking about. He said he was interested in black-eyed kids and asked the man if he had a story about them. This is when the old man said that they ruined his whole life and are the reason he was locked up in that place. All right, now I want to preface that I understand how this story might sound and come off, considering this man was living in a psychiatric ward. But if it's true, this is the most horrifying story of black-eyed kids I've ever heard.
Fuck, okay.
I also want to give a trigger warning. It is a very graphic story with a very, very heartbreaking ending. I cried.
Damn.
So the following is all a quote directly from the man himself. It was November 19th, 1992. I was watching television downstairs while my wife, Helen, was asleep upstairs, as was my two children, Mary and Bradley. I was watching an old horror movie called The Evil Dead. It was probably around 1:30 a.m., and after the movie I planned on going upstairs to bed. All of a sudden, I heard someone pounding on my front door. Who the fuck? I remember getting pretty angry because who in the hell would be pounding on my goddamn door at 1:30 in the fucking morning? So pretty pissed off, I stormed to the front door and yanked it open, ready to yell at whoever was ignorant enough to disturb my night. When I looked out, it was two children, a boy probably around 8 years old and a girl 11 or 12. They both had their heads hung down, looking at their feet. That's also when I noticed that they were out in bare feet. Now this is mid-November in Michigan, so anybody that doesn't know, it's fucking cold. What the hell are you kids doing wandering around pounding on people's doors in the middle of the night? In bare feet, I hollered. Them kids never did look up or anything. They just sat there. It sounded like the boy was crying softly. Well, I demanded. Please, sir, we're cold, the girl said quietly, still looking at her feet. That's also when I noticed their feet weren't even red or anything, like they wasn't cold or nothing. Well, no shit, you walking around in the middle of November in bare fucking feet. I was shocked and pissed off, so I wasn't the nicest person at the moment. Can we please come in? We're so cold, the little boy begged. They never did look up at me, and I never saw them black eyes. All right, yes, but you call your parents and have them come pick you up, understand? I said sternly. They both just shook their heads that they understood. Then they slowly walked past me into my home. This was when my life would change forever, and I would live the most frightening half hour of my life. That's all it took, them damn kids. Once they got inside, I quickly walked past them and went straight for my phone. It was around the corner in the kitchen, so I had to leave them out of sight for a minute. I grabbed it and quickly walked back to where I left them. Only, they were gone. I looked around and couldn't find them anywhere. Kids, where the hell did you go? I shouted. It was at this point I realized just how quiet the house was. I could have swore I left that television on, but yet, silence. It was an eerie quiet. Now I was a grown-ass man, and at that moment, for some odd reason, I felt fear. It was the feeling I guess I can only describe as that there was pure evil in this house, and I was its prey. "Hello?" I called out one more time. I once again was met with dead silence, so I decided I was going to go and look for him. I tiptoed through the kitchen into the living room, and just as I got by the couch, I heard the first scream. It was coming from upstairs from one of the bedrooms. I never ran so fast in my life, all the while shouting my wife's name and then my kids. I knew that they were in danger, but in that moment, I wasn't thinking anything about them damn kids. I was just thinking about helping my family. I got to my wife's room first, and I'll never forget what I saw that night. It'll be burned into my brain forever. When I opened the door, I saw my wife laying face down on the floor. There was blood everywhere. I ran over to her, but as soon as I got next to her, something pulled her under the bed from her feet. "What the fuck?" I shouted as I jumped back and landed on my ass. I heard crunching and snapping as her bones snapped repeatedly, and I could hear chunks of flesh being torn from her body. I ran as fast as I could and dove on the ground, yanking up the bed sheets to try and, save her, I guess, even though I knew it was far too late. When I pulled the sheets up, she was completely unrecognizable. Her legs bent in weird positions with huge chunks of her meat just gone. Her face was twisted in an expression of pure agony and pain. "Helen!" I shouted. I was so upset I almost missed it at first. It was a pair of feet on the opposite side of the bed. My heart hit my chest with a force it never had before. I didn't even have time to react as those feet moved inhumanly fast, straight out of my room towards the hall. I looked up and just caught a shadow running to where my kids lay sleeping. "No!" I shouted as loud as I could, jumping up, racing after them. I was too late, though. The door slammed shut, and I couldn't budge it. I screamed at the top of my lungs for them to open the door, but they wasn't having it, and there was no way I was getting this door open. So I quickly ran downstairs and called the police and told them to get out here quick. A scream shattered through my body as I heard my own damn children, facing the same fate as my beloved wife, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. I was hysterically crying as I ran back up the stairs to keep ramming the door. It was pointless. There had to be something against the door, because it wasn't even close to giving in. Then after a minute, I heard complete silence again, and I knew my babies were gone. I was sitting huddled up in the hallway when I heard the door slowly creak open. I pulled my head from my knees and looked in horror at the shadows slowly approaching the doorway. My heart was racing so fast I was about to pass out. Just before I did, though, those two damn kids stepped out of that room, covered in blood. They were smiling these awful grins, and that's when I got a look at their eyes. No white, just black, like the devil's eyes himself were in these children. That's when everything went black for me, and I must have fainted, because I woke up at the hospital to a whole frenzy of doctors and policemen bombarding me with questions. I told them what happened, but of course they didn't believe me. Would you? I wouldn't. So long story short, on that they found me insane, and I've been here since. So when I tell you, son, don't ever let those black-eyed kids in your home. You listen, please. I must only be here today because the policeman scared them kids off, or I know I'd be dead too. Wish I was every day.
Damn.
I really hope that one's not true because it hurt my heart so bad.
Well, it's hard to tell since it's a story, but
like, given that he is staying in a psychiatric ward, I get how it sounds. That's a wild story for someone to make
Is someone writing this for him? Did someone?
It was a man was there, remember, with his girlfriend, because they were visiting her aunt, and he overheard this man like talking stuff about the black-eyed kids like in the ward. So this was all like in the man's words, okay. The older man.
Sounds creepypasta-ish, yeah. But still a very fucking scary, fucking terrifying story.
Yeah, I hope it is creepypasta, but I just thought I would include it.
Yeah, that's still fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. This next one, it's like a little lighter and like not horrible and awful. So I thought we'd switch things up a little bit to just give like my heart a break.
Yeah.
So this next story might actually not necessarily be a black-eyed kid story, but it is close enough and strange enough that I did want to include it. A man was taking his trash cans out one night when all of a sudden he sees a group of children, about 25 of them.
What the fuck?
Imagine just seeing 25 kids like out of nowhere.
Like, where's your fucking school bus, bro?
And it was like in the evening. Like, I think it was like evening, but it was dark out. He had never seen any of these kids before. The kids then asked the man for candy, as if it were Halloween or something, which it was not.
Okay.
And apparently, even when it is Halloween in this neighborhood, there's never really like kids that go trick-or-treating there. Like, it's usually pretty quiet, even on Halloween.
Right. Okay.
So why are they asking him for candy?
Right.
The man told the kids that no, he did not have any candy. Then all of the kids started walking around the neighborhood and were knocking on the doors of his neighbors. Luckily, nobody was answering their doors, but the man hurried back to his house and locked the door. He said it was weird that there was no adult with all those kids and that something just felt so off about them. And that's it. That's all the story. It's a short one, but I think it was just the amount of kids that like got me.
I'll just fucking gather it
Why
up.
are there so many of them? And he's right. Like, where are the adults? Yeah, that was a little one, but I needed a break after the bad one.
Well, yeah, that one's fucking
Awful.
terrifying. Yeah.
But yeah, this one, nothing bad happened, but it's really weird. But that's all. So this story that I'm going to tell you next is another example of what might happen if you do let the black-eyed children in.
Besides the other one.
Yeah, the other one is an example. It might not be true. I would say this one is...
Is this one equally as violent?
I don't quite remember. I don't think so. I think that last one was like the worst one for sure.
Right. Okay.
Okay, one night around 2 a.m., a woman was sleeping when all of a sudden, a loud bang woke her. Looking through her window, she noticed a series of footprints through the snow surrounding her house. She could see someone standing at the door, but feeling unsafe, she woke her husband. It was her husband who actually opened the door, revealing 2 children on the other side. The 2 children, a boy and a girl, appeared odd right away. Despite trudging through snow, they were not wearing any heavy coats. Instead, they wore clothes that were kind of reminiscent of what Mennonites wore, despite the fact that no Mennonites lived anywhere near them. The woman stressed in her story that she normally wouldn't hesitate to welcome children in from a snowy night, yet she felt uneasy. She asked them where their parents were, to which they only replied, "They'll be here soon."
What the fuck?
It's just the way these kids talk that
it's so ominous.
It's so fascinating. It's like there's not anything creepy about what they're saying, but there is in like the way they're saying it.
Yeah, it's just very ominous and like very
vague.
Like indirect. Yeah.
Eventually, their paternal instincts overcame their better judgment, and they allowed the children to come into their room.
Oh no.
Yeah. The tone of the home shifted immediately. Pigeon, the couple's typically friendly house cat, which cat's name is Pigeon. That's so cute. Come here, Pidge. Anyways, he became skittish and reluctant for interaction. He even retreated into the kitchen and hissed when the woman attempted to pet him.
Damn.
That's like his mom, you know?
Right.
Like, what if Binks like hissed at me? I could never.
I'd be like, what the fuck?
He's never hissed at me.
Yeah, but then I would get that feeling of like, okay, something is wrong.
Right. Yeah, if Binks hissed at me, like, we're out of here. We're leaving the premises.
I mean, I would try to figure out like, well, clearly we did something. We probably brought something in or something, and if it was obvious after something we did, I would be like,
maybe that was a mistake.
Yeah, we should just keep this rock out of the house or something like that, you know?
Good idea. So, hoping to ease some of the tension, the woman made hot cocoa while her husband stayed with the children. Upon returning, the husband mentioned that he was feeling dizzy. It was at that point that she noticed the children's eyes, black as coal. The children did not notice the woman's fearful reaction, or perhaps didn't care. Instead, they simply asked to use the bathroom and walked off as though nothing was strange at all. While the children left the room, the husband's nose began to bleed.
Damn.
She turned to get him tissues when suddenly everything went black. The power was out, but she could still make out the two children, standing eerily still at the end of the hallway, just staring at her. Motorcycle number 2.
Motorcycle, yeah.
Okay, so she saw the kids in the blackness of the room, just standing at the edge of the hallway. Our parents are here.
What the fuck?
Without another word, the children walked past them and through the front door. The couple watched as the kids walked to the end of the driveway, where 2 men waited by an idling car for them. The men were described as 6 feet tall with black suits, not reacting to any of the couple's attempts to get their attention. The ordeal continued over the following months. 3 house cats disappeared from the house, and Pigeon tragically died of a hemorrhage.
Oh my god.
I forgot about that part. And then her husband developed skin cancer, developing at such a rate that even professional doctors were left baffled, although doctors do remain hopeful that he will recover. The woman herself was not left unscathed. She developed health issues similar to the effects her husband experienced, namely nosebleeds and sudden dizzy spells. So that is what might happen if you let black-eyed kids into your home.
That's fucking crazy.
And obviously it's like
That
they could just have gotten sick, but
yeah, but that also just makes me believe that they could be aliens. Mm-hmm. Because of like skin cancers, like UV radiation, mm-hmm. also like it could be caused by UV radiation,
right?
You know,
but just that plus like the wife also experiencing things, which I guess she could have UV radiation too.
Yeah, like poisoning,
right.
Like
but then the random cat hemorrhage. When do you hear of like a cat dying from a hemorrhage? And then
how would you even know that?
Right, and then though. 3 other cats like are like disappeared. Like, that's a lot to happen all at once.
I think, like, radiation poisoning could cause, like, dizziness and stuff like that. So I feel like whatever affected the husband, obviously skin cancer, which is some sort of radiation, UV radiation or whatever it could be, it affected the wife. I mean, they sleep in the same bed.
Yeah.
So, I feel...
Yeah, it's a possibility.
I don't know, but
nobody knows for sure.
No one knows, but I think they could be like more like devilish, like alien things, more than like a demonic, ghostly thing. You know,
we're almost there. I
okay.
promise.
Oh, okay.
I know you're itching. So yeah, we have one more story, and this last story I am including because it's actually the first documented story about black-eyed children.
Documented how? Like in general?
Like reported by anyone.
Like the history of the world?
Yeah, it's said that like the stories could have been people could have been experiencing this before then, obviously, but this is the first person to like bring attention to it.
Okay. But it's not like FBI classified or none of that stuff. No. It's not classified information. It's just a story.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was reported in 1996 by a man named Brian Bethel. And while scrolling through Reddit and reading through a bunch of comments on stories I was reading, I actually came across a comment from someone who claims to be very good friends with Brian and confirmed that his story was in fact true and not made up for publicity or anything like that. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that this story is without a doubt 100% true,
right.
But it seemed important to include, and it was just like a random comment. It wasn't like he came out and made a public statement or anything like that. So, just thought I would mention it.
Yeah, no, I feel like statements are always more they're like scarier, other than like commenting on things. Because I do get like, I get paranoid sometimes when I've like come across a post on Reddit that I can relate to or I can add to.
Right.
Like, no matter what the topic is, right? Then I get all, and if I comment on it, or even on Facebook, I comment on it, and I, you know, and it's up for like 2 minutes, and then I'm like, they're probably watching or something. So then I just go back and delete it because I'm like, fuck, like, you know, and it just sucks. It sucks now. Like, it sucks that the internet's like that now, that, you know, but I get it if it's just a comment. And
yeah, it was the only one I saw. It's not like he's going around and be like, no, he's telling the truth everywhere.
No, I get it. Yeah,
it was like that down gives, too in the middle of things.
Yeah, that gives it more like of a credibility,
like validity.
Yeah, validity, because I get it.
I just thought it was interesting. I didn't expect to find that, so I wanted to say it.
No, that's a good catch. Good job, babe.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I am getting pretty good at this. So.
Yeah, heck yeah, I love it.
All right. Here is Brian's story. So one night, Brian stopped in the parking lot of a movie theater to use its lights to write up a check, which, hello, 1996.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he heard a knock on his window. He looked up to see two young boys standing there. They asked if they could get in his car and if he could give them a ride to their mother's house. This is when Brian felt a wave of intense fear, and then he realized how black their eyes were. He quickly turned his car on and tried to escape the children, when they then screamed, "We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in." He zoomed out of the parking lot, and when he looked back, the two kids were gone. And that's his story, but I had to include it since it's technically the first reported story on black-eyed kids.
What year is this again?
1996.
1996, damn.
So, and then that's not the only one, but there were, most of them took place in the home. So it's like the fact where they can just be out in public at a movie theater parking lot.
Yeah. And
like get you in your car.
It's because they're able to pass off as like real humans. Yeah. Because they look real.
Yeah.
But that's crazy though.
Yeah. But that is all the best stories I could find out there on the black-eyed kids. So as we discussed, there are multiple theories about what exactly the black-eyed children are and what they want. Some say they are something demonic, although this is the least believed theory. The main evidence for this theory is that they eventually seem unnaturally malevolent and that they gain their power from being invited in. A sub-theory is that they are actually mortal children that have been possessed by something demonic, which kind of goes back to what you were saying maybe about the girl in the woods that might have been trying to take over that boy's body, maybe. Yeah. They are also thought to potentially be ghosts due to the fact that they seem to have the ability to travel quicker than humans or disappear altogether. Now, the most popular theory is aliens. This is mainly attributed to people often seeing men dressed in black, acting kind of off like the children do, coming to pick them up.
Yeah, like the men in black.
Yeah. The children also are known to cut power and cause health problems, as are aliens. And lastly, they speak almost like human kids, but they just haven't seemed to fully grasp it. Like they can't act like an actual human kid, but they're like trying really hard. But yeah, whatever these kids are, it is still unclear what their ultimate motives are, and we may just never know. But that is the legend of the black-eyed children.
Damn.
Yeah. Told you it was a good one.
That is fucking creepy. That's a creepy one.
What do you think? What are your thoughts?
It's hard. I mean, it's a fucking crazy myth, like legend. I don't know what to call it, but I can't tell, because they're like equally like demonic and like alien type, which like makes sense because to a lot of people aliens are demonic. You know, okay. Like especially if you're religious, like you see aliens as like the devil.
Right. Yeah, I guess like the difference to me is that like the demonic stuff like isn't something living, but aliens like by definition are like
living
intelligent life other than
creatures.
humans. Yeah.
Right.
And the Men in Black honestly are a big like confirming factor for me.
Right.
Because like who else would have Men in Black like picking them up like that? Like
right.
other, you know. That's just my opinion, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that there's so many stories out there, and obviously we don't know which ones to believe.
Yeah, because then like if you take into account like the black-eyed kids being like ravenous and like eating a wife and children,
right?
Like that is, I don't know if you think of like being afraid of the dark at night and like the boogeyman under your bed. Like I was afraid that the boogeyman would like eat me up. There's an episode of Rugrats where Chucky is afraid of the boogeyman, and it's like that's essentially it. Like the boogeyman will eat you, kind of thing.
Right.
And you know his dad is like in the whole episode trying to be like, Chucky, you're like, there's nothing to be afraid of, you know, because Chucky's like the oldest one of the babies. So he's the first one that gets a big boy bed. And I'm like, dude, I fucking relate to that, though. Because it's like, yeah, the fucking boogeyman will eat you, you know?
The boogie kids.
Yeah, the boogie kids. And I don't know. It's just hard to tell. Because also me just being me, I can dismiss it as a creepypasta.
Right.
And it's
of
like...
course. But it's like, are all of them creepypastas, you know?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, like, Brian Bethel is like, this really fucking happened, and all of you are turning it into, like, this, like, legend.
Yeah,
like,
he didn't go on creepypasta, and,
No.
right, I forget where it said he, like, reported it to, but, yeah, he wasn't, like, writing it out like this. You heard how short the story was. He wasn't, like, drawing it out and trying to make it super convincing.
Like,
it was very simple.
Yeah.
You know, but it sounded like it happened to him. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but I was excited to do this one. It's always fascinated me and creeped me out in like just a different way than other things do, you know?
Yeah,
it's a different kind of creepy. But yeah, I think that's all I have got. Anything you want to throw out to the people before we close up today's episode?
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that after these stories tonight, I'ma be spooked as fuck, bro. I'm gonna be waking up Alyssa in the night.
And we're just gonna be playing Black Eyed Peas all night.
I'm gonna be like, babe, can you fucking walk me to the bathroom, please? Jeez. Hey, I heard a couple knocks in the front door.
And then I'll be like, but was it 3 knocks? And if the answer is no, we're going back to sleep.
And then it's
no, I'm
like,
just kidding. I'm gonna be freaked out too if any knocks
and
happen.
then it's just a neighbor being like, "Hey, I locked myself out." And
Can I use your phone?
And then we look at her in the eyes, and they're just pitch black.
It's black, and then she's like, I'm locked out, and I just really need some sugar for my telegraph machine. Please, can you help me? And that's when I'll be like, yeah, I was gonna throw the sugar out anyways, and I'll just like chuck it out the window for her.
Yeah, right. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Well,
anyways, I will walk you to the bathroom. Don't worry.
Thank you. I'm gonna need that.
I'll sleep with the lights on.
Yeah, because then even Binks doesn't wake up sometimes. He's still like knocked out with you.
Yeah.
And then I'm like awake at like 3 a.m. like fucking terrified. You know? I know. You guys can like fucking sleep like babies, and I'm sleeping like a baby afraid of the dark.
Like Chucky.
All right.
Well.
Damn it. That was a good one,
Thank
though.
you. I was excited
really
for it. I'm sorry I scared you, but that was my goal.
That's fine. Now I'm going to try to nap right now, so I won't.
Have all the lovely dreams of the black-eyed kids.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for wishing that for me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, I think it's time to sign off. I think we're done for today.
All right, thank you everyone for listening. Shameless plug here. Please share this podcast with your friends. Just share it, on your stories on Facebook, whatever. It's free. It's really we appreciate it.
Yes, definitely.
It's it only takes a couple minutes.
And it helps immensely.
It does help, just like a little exposure, at least sharing it with one friend.
And then they might share it with somebody.
Yeah.
And you never know how much you could be helping out a small little podcast that's trying to get started.
Yeah, there's also, you can monetarily support the podcast by going to our profile on Spotify. And do you have a link on that on Instagram?
I don't. I'm not sure.
We should probably set up a link tree.
Can do that, but yeah, we'll take a look.
We'll set up a link tree so it'll be easier if you decide that you would like to, spare some extra change, please. And 99 cents a month would help. It goes up to $10 a month on a Spotify podcast.
Like contribution.
Yeah, contribution. Thing. You become like a monthly member thing.
Right.
We would appreciate that. All the proceeds from that. We're trying to get some merch started.
Yes.
Even if it's small, but that would be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So we hope you can
help out. And then if we do start getting some support going, as we mentioned before, then I would feel more confident getting a Patreon started, and so that way we can actually provide you guys with some extra content, and that way you would kind of be getting something for your contribution, a little extra.
Right.
It would hopefully be true crime stories on there. Also, maybe some mini spooky stories that aren't long enough for the podcast. But that's the ultimate goal, to just kind of turn this into something a little more and give you guys a little more. But we need your help.
Yeah, we do need some help right now.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you for listening.
Yep.
Please continue to share, comment. That helps a lot too.
Rate and review.
Yeah, that helps the algorithm a lot for sure.
Absolutely.
But thank you very much.
And remember to stay spooky.